Hey gang, basically I'm not feeling great and we're all stuck at home, and so my message today was you need to do what you need to do to have a happy new year. So if you feel like that is sweatpants and hot cocoa and an early bedtime, then that's what you do. If you feel like you need to get a little fancied up to cheer yourself up and try to get excited about the new year, then that's what you do. So just in case you decided, like me, that you need to cheer yourself up a little bit, I'm gonna show you my makeup tutorial and an easy hair tutorial, because I get a lot of questions. If I ever do once or twice a year go out with my makeup done, I get a lot of questions about how. So I thought this might be helpful. This is step one. I start with our primer. I do think primer is one of those key things that makes a big difference. I also have, if I ever do attempt eyeshadow, which is very, very rare, an eyeshadow primer. It helps everything stay on longer. So those are the first two steps. Heavy makeup or no makeup, I'm a big believer in concealer. I went ahead and did that in advance of this. So I have a very, very dark under eye area, so I'm a big believer in Benefit Boing is an industrial strength concealer. I'll show you tips and tricks, but your makeup game, excuse me, will never be a 10 if your skincare game is a 2. If you're not getting your skin in shape and you're not working with a good palette to begin with, then it's very, very challenging, more challenging than it needs to be. So if you don't feel like you're taking good care of your skin, that would definitely be something I would be happy to help you with. So next step, which I do a lot even when I'm not doing a full face, is our Radiant Defense. This is a Rodan & Fields product. I like it much, much better than a BB cream or a CC cream or a foundation. It is really light, very, very easy to apply, and as you can see, it literally makes the redness disappear immediately. Brush is magnificent. It's really light and easy to use. It's got an SPF 25 in it, so I feel like I've got daily protection. I think that goes a long way to sort of evening everything out and making it look flawless. Comes in 10 different shades, so there should be a shade that works for everybody. I would be happy to help people shade match if you would like any help with that. I also guess I should say that I really love the fact that it comes in this case. I have so many brushes and then I'm not sure what to do with them once they get messy. This is nice because I can touch up that makeup if I need to, and I can put it back in my bag. Once again, I will say that I don't think what you're using matters quite as much as the technique. So I'm gonna do the eyeshadow next. And I'm really serious when I say that what you're using I don't think matters as much as the technique, because I am using the same generic makeup palette that I bought. It's an embarrassing long time, like this is clearly like 10 years old or longer, which I know is not really what's recommended, so don't follow that advice. But this is the Sonia Kashuk Target makeup palette that I found because it had the 3 shades, which is what mattered to me. I had gone once upon a time, a long time ago, and learned how to apply the eyeshadow at a makeup counter at a department store, and it involved, you know, building those 3 shades. So, you know, I would say any eye color palette is fine. Find one that has 3 shades that you think complement, excuse me, your natural coloring. So I am working with the fact that the hair is, you know, reddish and the eyes are brown, and I tend to stick with neutral colors. Obviously you do whatever works for you. So we start with the base coat, which is the lightest shade. So I'm going to come in to this one here, and this is like a light, I don't know if you can tell in the video, it's like a golden color. Even though it's got some sparkle in it, it comes out very subtle. I don't feel like it. And you're just gonna, okay, I sort of do it this way. I just watched a video last week where the woman went the other way from the outside in. So I don't know if that's a better technique, but I'm used to going from the inside out. So it's hard to break old habits. And there you go, see? it's not much, it's just a little bit of sparkle and shine, catches the light if it's, you know, if you're going to be taking photographs. So I usually only do this for an event where I think we're going out and there's going to be pictures taken. So once you've got your base coat done, then you're going to come in with your second shade. So that's the middle one here, which is like an orangey, bronzy, again, a little sparkly, not that it has to be. And this one you're only going to put in the crease. So I tend to kind of close my eye, put the brush sort of in where the dent is there, and just kind of come like that and kind of really press in. So I get a little bit on the top, a little bit on the bottom, and then that's that. You really, again, you don't need much. I think the philosophy is sort of less is more, because you can always build coverage later. Okay, same thing, both eyes. I think the thing that's most important here is blending colors so it doesn't look harsh. So I went ahead and went back in and grabbed some of the lightest shade so that I can blend back into the color that was already there. See? So that softens the whole thing so it's not overly harsh. So same thing on the other eye. I'm going to grab a little bit of that golden color and just blend what we did. Okay, I know it's not looking like much. Don't expect that you're going to get much impact until the end. And now we're going to go for the third shade, which is the darkest one. And this would be the one that I would say you have to be really, really careful of. If I tell you I only use a drop, I am not exaggerating. It's brown, and you wouldn't think that that would be terribly harsh, but it's tricky. It's really very tricky. The purpose of the last shade is really just some depth. So the idea is you want the color to be building from light to dark. So you really don't want it on much at all. I would say like the outer, maybe there. Almost picture it like a little triangle. You're just doing that triangle right there. See, like that. And then you're gonna just like build it and blend it. Okay, that's it. And you want to kind of figure out a way for that to come to a point so that it is really a triangle the way that I said. So you sort of figure out where your outer edge is going to be right there. And then you want, you know, you want like a little arc up here at the top, the way that we did with everything else. But again, be very careful that you're not, you can always add more, but you can't take away. Like, see how much that pops immediately? I really feel like I did this once last week for Christmas and I did too much, and it was like there was no going back once I did too much. I'm gonna do the other eye. The magic, I would say, is really in the blending. Just making sure that all the colors are kind of coming together. Okay, so again, so far I don't really feel like it looks like much, and that's normal because nothing looks finished, in my opinion, without an eyeliner and a mascara. So don't expect that it's gonna look like anything crazy yet. And if you really, really want to bring it over the top, the other thing that I'm going to suggest that makes a huge difference is brows. Okay, you definitely are going to want to come in and do your brows, and I'm going to show you that next. I have gotten rid of the complicated multi-step powder, pomade, gel, all this other nonsense, and I'm just using a one-step brow defining boost from my own company, Rodan and Fields. You know, use what you want. Once again, I don't think it really makes all the difference in the world which product you use. What makes a difference is that you do them and that they come out finished and polished. because as you can see, I have really not much at all in the brow department, and I have only just started applying this, and look at what an instant difference it makes already in making the whole thing look lifted, which really is the point, right? We want it to look more polished. We want it to look instantly younger. If you're getting on in years like myself. So that helps me a lot because my brows are very fair like the rest of my hair. So this gives it like a nice temporary, and this has pretty good staying power. It'll stay put all day, and it sort of acts as like an all-in-one. I like that it's got a mascara brush basically, so it grabs the hair and deposits the fibers and the color right where it needs to be without me having to do a whole lot of, you know, I don't have to do any stencils or any outlining, because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna do the other eye, so hold on a second. You can skip a lot of things, okay? I know a lot of us are moms and parents and we need to save time. So I will always be honest with you. You can skip a lot of steps. I do not see any need for eyeshadow on a daily basis. That is a really rare occurrence. But I will say my new philosophy is this brow product. I would not skip the brows. I have been doing them very, very constantly in the morning. I have added that as my like one constant, and that was not something I normally did, but I feel like that goes such a long way to giving you a polished look. I mean, if you're watching this whole video, you cannot tell me that you don't see a dramatic difference. Like that made a much more dramatic difference than the eyeshadow, which was like a 3-step process. So this gives you a lot of bang for your buck, a lot of drama, a lot of improvement for very, very little time. Okay, so next I am going to do eyeliner. Now, I would say you have two choices here in terms of eyeliner. Again, I don't think it matters much what you're using. I use different products for different things. This is just a L'Oreal eye pencil, like a straight up drugstore find in brown, again, because I'm sticking with what nature gave me. The choices, when I say you have choices, the choices you have would be between using the eyeliner on the outside, right here, versus using it on the inside. And I may go ahead and show you both today because that is another one of those things that I discovered later in life that nobody showed me when I was young. So if you're looking to go from like a daytime to a nighttime look, I think lining the inside waterline of your eyes is like a huge wow factor, and usually people cannot even tell what it is that you did. They can just see the impact. So I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing, but I'm gonna do the brown all around, and then we'll come back and maybe do the waterline. As a side note, I'm wondering if you can see what I can see as I'm looking at myself, which is that this eye looks better because you can see the brighter shade here better than on this side. So I'm gonna go in and fix that because like I said to you before, I think the graduation of color is what really makes a good look. So you want for this part in here to be the really lightest shade that you're using from your palette. So just gonna go in and see if I can fix that. Okay, now the other thing I started doing a decade ago or more is highlighting under the brow. And again, I will say this is one of those things that if you're gonna do a full face of makeup, gives you the biggest pop or impact. Actually takes your eyeshadow game to the next level. So I also have, pretty much in the same period of time, this other Sonia Kashuk Target palette. that came with the highlighters, like some lip glosses and the brushes. And it's really just like a silvery white, like a shimmery white. And it just sort of like highlights your brow bone. You just come in and make one stripe underneath there, okay? And see how that sort of makes the shape of the eyeshadow that was already there kind of pop. So right underneath, that's it, okay? Just you're just going into that in-between space that didn't really have any of the eyeshadow, and it's going to catch the light. If you're having photos taken or a special event, just see how much that changes the look already. And in terms of highlighting, we're going to do the same thing, where we're going to come in right here, just at the very corner, and drop a little bit there. I'm gonna close my eye so I don't poke myself in the eye. Just right there. See where the corner is? Okay. It's just a little tiny bit of sparkle that's going to just make your eye look a little bit more awake, and sort of emphasize the color that you put everywhere else, make it stand out a little bit. Okay, so now, as promised, if you wanted to do the waterline, again, this is very basic drugstore. This is Boots. It's just a black eyeliner. So if I wanted a more dramatic nighttime look, I would use black. And I might actually use black on both the inside and the outside. And sometimes, if it's not working that well right away, you want to take a lighter and just heat it up a little bit to soften it, okay? And that's it. You know, from a distance, I don't think you can really tell what I did, except that I'm showing you close up that you're going inside the waterline, okay? See how it's getting darker? I mean, it takes a while because your eye is obviously very wet with tears and stuff. So, you know, there we go. See, now you can see how that really just amps up. I think that most people from a distance looking don't really know what it is that you did different. They just know that you look different than you do every day. It really intensifies the color of your eyes. One of the other things that I kind of stopped doing years ago is using blush, mainly because of my own coloring, since I tend to do better with neutral colors. I have started just using a mineral peptide powder in bronze. So basically, I'm just using a bronzer. So that's a possibility. That's a thought for you. Obviously, again, you've got to do what's right for you. You just kind of come in like an L shape. And then blend. Like with everything else, the blending is what's going to matter, so that you don't end up with a really harsh color. Everything is fixable, which is the good news. So if you come in and you feel like it is too harsh or it's not blended well enough, then I would just come in with a lighter powder and just blend it, you know? So, you know, we happen to have a really nice mineral peptide powder that has an SPF in it. Again, I don't think it necessarily matters, you know, what you're using, just what you've got and what's working for you. It's more about how you're using it. And then that's it. The only other thing would be a lip color. I definitely always tend to do that last because otherwise I feel like it's gonna get all over what you're wearing. You know, you should get dressed first and then put that on last. That's pretty much it. You're just gonna finish it off with your mascara. And again, I may be a very unpopular opinion in that I'm gonna tell you that I don't think it matters that much what mascara you use. I have tried an awful lot of different ones. I tend to use drugstore mascaras, Maybelline in particular, because I like to use brown and it's very hard for me to find that shade. Usually everything is black, 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 black. So I have tried fiber mascaras, especially for like an unusual, you know, one-off event. And I do like the look that they produce. I just don't really like that they're very hard to wash off afterwards. I feel like I get these flaky fibers all over my face and it drives me crazy. So, you know, again, another little tip might be to not skip the eyelash curler. That may help you. And also what you can do, I didn't do it today, is you can heat it with your blow dryer so that you really get a big, big curl. And that's it, you know. And I would also say that the eyelash, the mascara is also very buildable. So don't be afraid that you can do multiple coats of that. I feel like we don't necessarily. We usually just do, you know, one and done. Build it up to what you want. You know, and once again, I think that what you're doing underneath makes more of a difference than the makeup. So if you feel like you need some help with the lashes, you need some boosting of your natural lashes, or reach out and get in touch with me and we can talk about Lash Boost Serum, which will help you over time with getting darker looking, longer looking, fuller looking lashes all on your own, so you don't have to be quite as dependent on which mascara you use. I think the thing that matters the most is time and technique. I have very, very small features. I have small eyes, I have tiny, skinny little eyebrows, I have a teeny tiny little nose, and I have very, very thin, very small lips, very small mouth. So anything I can do to sort of enhance and bring those features out makes me feel better about myself. So hopefully that will help you.